Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with you here today with an article from June 30th from Outkick. And it's yet another article of yet another professional sports player talking crap about the country. And my response, of course, is then there's other places you can go. You don't need to be here. So let's see what this one says. Is the WNBA's Natasha Cloud, who I've never heard of before this article, says, "Our country is trash in wake of Supreme Court's affirmative action ruling." So before I even scroll down, I just wanted my first thought is she probably doesn't actually know what she's talking about. And I did go through the article already. I can tell you this woman's like a pretty wild leftist, so pretty much there's your answer about if she knows what's going on or not. The answer to that is no, because leftists tend to not really be very smart when it comes to these sort of things. So let's go ahead and see what Miss Cloud has to say here. It says, "Don't expect to see Natasha Cloud lighting off fireworks this weekend. The Washington Mystics guard went on a Twitter tirade Friday about her disdain for the United States. Our country is trash in so many ways, and instead of using our resources to make it better, we continue to oppress marginalized groups that we have targeted since the beginning of times," Cloud tweeted. "Black and brown communities and LGBTQ plus man. What is a man? We are too powerful to be Our LGBT plus man, we are too powerful to be attacking issues separate." Okay, so half of that didn't seem like it was written correctly, but let's just see what she says. And here's the embedded tweet of what she said. So our country's trash. There are over 200 other countries you can go to, but instead of going to those, you'd rather stay here and, reap the benefits of living in the United States, but talk shit about it. Okay, yeah, This is kind of like if you were in a house that you always complained about hating, and someone just is like, there are other houses you can move into, and you're like, no, I'm going to just stay here. Like, everything works perfectly in this house. You never have to get maintenance on it. Everything's fine, but you're just like, I hate it. And you talk down to it, and then it's like, someone's like, move somewhere else. Nah. Like, okay, whatever. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And who's being oppressed by this affirmative action decision? Okay, so what about the Asians that were not getting into these colleges? Because that's what the affirmative action thing was about. It was saying you can't base college admission. There can't be race-based college admissions anymore. Okay, that was specifically what it was about. It was because Harvard and the University of North Carolina were doing that, and they were keeping out very smart Asian people for people that didn't have the grades the Asians did. So what about them? Do they just not count in this equation? Okay, so you're wrong about all this, and no one's continuing to target them. The people that are being targeted by people that are on your side of the political spectrum, Miss Cloud. Okay, these aren't like people on the right or, necessarily evil people doing this. This is people on your side saying we need to have people that aren't as smart in here because we need to rectify the wrongs of the past or some BS like that. Okay, it says black and brown communities and LGBTQ, man, we are too powerful to still be attacking issues separate. I'm not quite sure what she means by that, but let's just go on because I'm getting too stuck on that. It says, while Cloud didn't explain what she meant by oppression, because they never do, they just say it's there, her tweet comes just one day after the U.S. Supreme Court ruled affirmative action practices by major universities are unconstitutional, which they are because it's effectively state-sanctioned racism. That's it. So yeah, it should be unconstitutional, and I'm glad it was struck down because I've never been a fan of it, and we shouldn't be basing hiring practices or college admissions based on the way someone looks. That doesn't mean anything. Okay, you should be basing it on merit. The smartest people get into the best universities. That's a completely uncontroversial statement. Fight me on that. It says, now qualified candidates are potentially offered admission based on their accomplishments and merit, not their skin color, as it should be. So I feel like I'm going to see a civil war in my lifetime, Cloud tweeted. Okay. Why? And understand that it's your side that's committing nearly all of the violence that's out there. Okay. Again, you guys are going to start it. It's going to be your fault. But do I expect you to take responsibility for it? No, because you're a leftist and you don't do that. So the funny thing about all the people who hate America is that they don't hate it enough to leave. Right? That's 100% correct. I could not agree with that statement more. It says, but if Claude were going to move to another country, she has it all figured out. She says, I'm feeling somewhere with human rights, healthcare, and no mass shooting, she tweeted. Well, that's kind of funny because you're probably not really going to find a place like that. Okay, go where are you going to go that has all these things? Okay, like let's say, okay, you say I'm going to go to another English-speaking country. You think, okay, the UK. Well, just replace Well, they have human rights abuses there too, because there are some serious issues with the left just destroying their country as well. And you can replace the mass shootings with knifings, because they have a lot of knifings there. And sure, you'll get all the healthcare. So you're obviously a socialist, because you want this. And there's healthcare here. You just need to pay for it. And okay. And even people that come from countries that have socialized medicine come here and they're like, oh, I didn't realize I could go to a doctor like tomorrow if I have something wrong with me. I didn't realize I didn't have to wait like 6 months to get into someplace. So this is someone that just fundamentally does not understand things that are actually going on around her. I'd say by that. So it says, Natasha Cloud is a seasoned social justice warrior. Says her rant was not unusual for the 31-year-old. Says Cloud claims as a black woman in America, she's been waiting for equality, opportunity, and safety her whole life. If this was 100 years ago, I could totally agree with that statement. But you're saying this, in 2023. So what world are you living in exactly about this? Like this is the problem with the leftist worldview. It's completely incoherent with reality. Okay, you have equality, you have opportunity, and you should be safe. I don't know where you live or anything, or where she lives. I'm talking to her, I'm saying you, but it's like I don't know where she lives, so I don't know about this part, but she should be safe. But she has all these things, so I would assume, so what's the problem? It says, never mind the fact that she went to a private high school, got a college education, now gets paid to play a game. Yeah, so she is actually one of the elites, and she just doesn't realize it. Well, of course. Here we go. Here's a picture of her. So, in 2020, Cloud opted of the WNBA season so she could focus on her social justice work. So she took part in protests in Philadelphia after the death of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd. And then she said, quote, I feel like you don't need to have known either of them to feel that trauma or to feel fear for your life, because now I'm not even safe in my home, Cloud told the Philadelphia Inquirer. I'm not safe when I go out. I'm not safe in a car. Where am I safe? And you're just saying that because of your skin color. You're not saying it because of your situation. If you go look up either of these situations, first of all, what I'm about to say should not be controversial about George Floyd is that he wasn't actually murdered if you read the autopsy report. Okay, the guy died of asphyxiation. What's happened to him is still horrible. I don't wish anybody, that's younger than me to die unnecessarily, but the man was a drug user. He had drugs in his system, and he died from nothing that the police officer actually did to him. And then Breonna Taylor, I know less about that one, but I think she was actually a drug dealer. That was, that she got shot in her boyfriend's apartment. So she wasn't the innocent person that everyone made her out to be. But again, ignorance goes hand in hand with leftists. So she's just saying shit that she, again, doesn't really know what she's talking about. And I could be wrong about the Breonna Taylor thing. And by all means, correct me if I am wrong about that and provide sources too, please. But then the article goes on and says, but now she says the country has gone backwards in the last 3 years. It's because of you guys. You guys are doing this. Do you not get that? No, you don't get that. I know it's a rhetorical question. She says, you talk about the mass shootings and continually happen. We do not do a thing. Black and brown people continuously being killed by police, which is not happening. That's just not a thing. Okay, and she says the people are supposed to protect us, but you don't want them to protect you. If you're on the side that you're on based on that picture, you don't want the police to be there, so who do you want to protect you? Okay, and they're not being continuously killed by police. I can't remember what year it was, but I think it might have even been 2021 or something, but it said so. There was I want to say like 9 unarmed black men that were killed by police. I would hardly call, out of a population of like tens of millions of black people in this country, that 9 is being continuous. So try again. And she says, we still don't have equity, which shouldn't. That's a communist term. Nobody should have equity. That's bad. Systemic racism still thrives. No, it doesn't. I'd like you to point to a single example of where it is. In fact, you know what? I'm going to take that back. It does actually exist. Well, it did exist until this Supreme Court decision here. It got rid of the systemic racism. But where's the systemic racism that you're talking about? Which I know what you're saying is towards her group of people. Where is it? It's funny that these leftists say that it's out there, but they never actually provide an example of where. It's just that it's there. It's like someone come up to you and saying, I saw a ghost, and you say, where'd you see it? They're like, well, what? You just don't believe me that I saw one? And it's like, well, I'm not just going to believe you right off the bat, like, show me proof. And this is basically like leftists are like, no, you just have to trust us about this. It just doesn't make any sense. She says we are mass incarcerated, and I don't know a lot about the prison thing, so I can't really speak to that. So we've taken so many steps back. No, it's the fact is that you don't actually know what you're talking about, and almost nothing you said here is correct. So speaking out for equality. Says Cloud comes from a family of 5 children, but she's the only one of mixed race. Says she said she found her blackness in college and fought with her siblings after she found out they voted for Donald Trump. Oh no, the worst thing ever. The guy that actually did things for the black community, but whatever. Says there were so many times that there was screaming, crying, and arguing. And she said, and I felt I've left family dinners. I've been like, I'm not coming home no more. We haven't talked for periods of time, and those are real things. Being open about that, I want to normalize that. Well, it sounds like you're the bad guy here. I hate to break it to you. I don't see anything you've said here that even comes across as remotely correct, and I guarantee you that you're the one that found that decided to find this out and scream at everybody about it. So I hate to break it to you, Miss Cloud. Again, you seem like the bad guy in this situation. You're the villain here. Says, but it's not just politics. Cloud also had a problem with the disparities between men's and women's sports. Here we go. Says in the interview with the Inquirer, she referenced a USC and Purdue University study published in 2021 that showed women's sports received only about 5% of total television coverage, including highlights on ESPN SportsCenter. Stop giving us half-assed investments, Cloud said last week. We appreciate y'all for putting us on TV, but I'm tired of being appreciative. I'm tired of the crumbs. I want the whole pie of what we deserve. Just add it to your list of grievances. And Tasha, yeah. Say about this, I don't know about this study or anything like that. This is the first time I'm actually seeing it, but maybe if people, actually watched women's sports, and that's not a knock on women's sports, but it's like you can't just go, we want everything everybody else has. This is the equity thing. It's just somebody else. If it was like somebody else is getting something I feel I deserve, so I should be able to have that too. Okay, how about you guys work on your sport and making it more popular, and maybe people will come to that. Okay, I mean, you just sound like someone that's just pissed about nothing. You're pissed about the way society works. But what do you guys think about this? This is yet another person coming out that doesn't seem to know what she's talking about in any capacity whatsoever, thinking she knows what she's talking about. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.